Hello! Today we are going to be ranking countries. Intros are boring, so let's get straight into it. So, I have made my own tier list. You will see here, it starts at the bottom with not my cup of tea because I'm British. We've then got too short, didn't read. These are countries that I feel like I didn't spend enough time in to really give you a full picture of. We've then got comme ci, comme ça, you know, in the middle. We've got beautiful, another tea pun. I don't even drink tea, but again, I'm British. We've got A, this is an amazing country. And at the top, we've got Mr. Worldwide giving 405, round the world, best countries ever. Let's get into it. We're going to go in order of countries that I have been to, just to spice it up a bit so you don't know what's coming next. Let's get into it. So we are going to start with France. As a British person, the word France, it doesn't spark joy. When I hear the word France, I'm like basic, boring, not much going on. However, you say the word Paris. Ooh, completely different vibe. Paris, I think, is the best city on earth. If you disagree, you don't deserve Paris. I do understand if maybe you're from a country like Japan that's very clean and you're not used to Europe, and you go to a European country like Paris and maybe it's a bit dirty, a bit more rugged than what you're used to. But if you're from Europe or from the US, you should kind of know the vibe that you're going to be getting. So if you know that and you still don't like Paris, there's seriously something wrong with you. But the rest of France, I mean, okay, we've got Cannes, we've got Nice, they're very pretty. When I hear France, I would go B. When I hear Paris, it's S. So we're going A, France, why not? Next up, we have Turkey. I've been twice, but I haven't been to Istanbul. I've heard a lot of really great things about Istanbul. My experience of Turkey is Ephesus, so going to the oldest library in the world, and also going to a resort as well, so beach vibes. Turkey is probably, you know, beautiful. I do think after going to Istanbul, it could potentially move up to A tier, but for now it's going in beautiful. Next up, we've got Spain. So as a child, if I was asked, what do you prefer, France or Spain? I would have said Spain. Spain is cool, Spain is edgy, Spain is hot, you know, Spain isn't basic and boring like France. But actually as an adult, I don't know. I've been to quite a lot of places in Spain now, and like it's okay, like it's nice. There's nothing about it that grabs me that's like whoa. So I think Spain might actually have to go in comme ci. I don't have any amazing memories from Spain, so okay. So next up we've got Switzerland. I've been to the snowy mountainous parts of Switzerland. I've also been to the little town parts of Switzerland, but not those like really green sort of mountainous pictures that you see online. Switzerland is very expensive. Switzerland I'm going to give comme ci, comme ça. Okay, next up we have Greece. Greece has amazing food. Greece has super nice people. When we were in Corfu, we were staying in an Airbnb and this man came over and he brought us some food that his mum had cooked specially for us, which was really sweet. I also got proposed to in Santorini, so maybe a bit biased, but the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen in Greece. Nothing compares. So I think Greece is going to have to go Mr. Worldwide. There we go. Next up, we have... What flag is that? Egypt. I'm big on history. Love the pyramids. The Cairo Museum is the best museum on earth. The only downside to Egypt, it can be quite hectic. There was a lot of people trying to sell you things. We actually got locked in a little shop and forced to buy something. And unfortunately, a lot of people thought I was my dad's wife. And that was back when I was 15 as well. Also just uncomfortable that a lot of men think they can sort of talk to you as a young girl. Even the police, I got a lot of glares from. We went to the pyramids, we had the loveliest guide, but he was like, avoid the police, and the police were coming over to us and he was like, run, and we were all running back to the car. So it's going to go in the A tier. So it's definitely worth going to, absolutely. I think everyone should go to Egypt. Just be prepared that it might be a bit hectic, but other than that, it's gorgeous. You have a beautiful time. Next up we have Croatia. Croatia's a good one. Dubrovnik is probably one of the best places I've ever been. Also, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you'll really like it. And Split is also really nice. Went on a little day to Hvar as well. Gorgeous, like green seas, just absolutely stunning. You know, I didn't think Croatia was that high in my ranking, but now I'm talking about it out loud. I don't know. Croatia. Check it out for yourself. USA. What do you think I'm gonna say? If you're British like me, you're probably expecting me to say that America sucks. But I have to give it to America. I think it's the best country on earth. And I'm not talking about its politics, I'm talking about how absolutely stunning it is, because it's got so much. It's got desert, it's got sea, it's got mountains, it's got cities, it's got snow, it's literally got everything you could want. I believe that people travel with one of three things. They either travel with their eyes, they travel with their belly, or they travel with their heart. So if you travel with your heart, that means that you really care about immersing yourself in the culture, talking to the people, hanging out at a slow pace. You're not like on a really tight checklist to get things done. Traveling with your belly means that you're a foodie, you love to eat, try different restaurants out, and traveling with your eyes means you just love to see really cool and beautiful things. And I'm someone who loves to travel with their eyes. You've got the Grand Canyon, You've got Hawaii, for Christ's sake. America has my heart. I do recommend you visit. Obviously, just take precautions. Just because it's the best place on earth doesn't mean it's the safest place on earth. Okay, what country is this? Thailand. If you have ever done backpacking, then you will have been to Thailand. Thailand, I would say, is the #1 country you should go to if you're going to be traveling the world. Probably the nicest people on earth. It's extremely cheap. When we were there, we would buy 2 main meals each because why not? It was like £1 a meal. It's got a fun party life. You know, there's a full moon party, except all night partying. You know what? We're going to have 2 in a row. Thailand is in S tier. Mr. Worldwide, you have to go there. Alright, next up we have Australia. I did actually live there for a few months, so it's special to me. Australia I do find really affordable. I found in the supermarkets all the food would be half the price as what it would be in a UK supermarket. I find the people there easy to get along with, probably because I'm British. You can do so many activities there. You can swim with dolphins, you can swim with sharks, you can surf, you can skydive. Like, Australia is one of the places to go to do as many activities as you want to do. Again, it's one of those countries I feel like you should go to if you're backpacking or wanting to travel the world. There are like bugs. There are spiders, but like you get over it. I'm someone who's super scared of insects. I never thought I'd be able to deal with spiders in Australia, but actually once you get there, you kind of get used to them. Like, obviously I would never kill them. I got someone else to. Like, if I saw a spider or a cockroach that flies, by the way, that big now here on the wall, I'd probably faint and hit my head and get a concussion. But in Australia, it's just like, okay, you know, I'm over it. So Australia is going in S tier. We have 3 in a row for S tier. All right, next up we have New Zealand. So New Zealand is, I want to say it's similar to Australia, but it's also kind of not. It's definitely more chill vibes. It's not that big, so you can get like a hop on hop off bus all the way from the top of the country down to the bottom of the country. Lots of things to do with wildlife, lots of sporty activities you can do. For me personally, it's not as like as Australia, so I'm just gonna put it in, I guess it's A. Yeah, it's A. I mean, Milford Sound is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Also really love Queenstown. So yeah, I think New Zealand is going to go A. Next up we've got Fiji. So Fiji is beautiful. It's the bluest water I've ever seen in my life. I'm hesitating here just because I am a beach person, but not like the only thing I want to do. I like to do lots of activities. Actually, on the main island, Suva, I wouldn't say the beaches are that nice at all. You need to get out to the other little islands, which you can get boats out to. We swam with manta rays there, which was one of the coolest experiences we've ever had. So I might actually give Fiji a beautiful. It's beautiful, and you should go there if you can. Otherwise, if you're coming from like the UK, maybe don't fly all the way over there just to go to Fiji. But I love you, Fiji. Okay, next up we have Mexico. So I've been to Tijuana and Monterrey, which are maybe not the most touristy places to go. So it's when I was traveling across the USA, going down through Greyhound bus into 2 spots in Mexico because I wanted to check it out, see what it was like. The people there were very nice. We were getting free tequila. I left my sunglasses somewhere. Some boy like ran after me to give them back to me. The food, not so sure about. I found like the tortillas to be like very floury, just not really what I'm used to with my kind of taste buds. In terms of sight-wise, I feel like Tijuana and Monterrey, there isn't that much going on. There are mountains in Monterrey, but at that point I couldn't speak any Spanish, so I couldn't figure out how to get there. Can't drive. What I saw of Mexico, it's definitely como si, como sa. I hear differing things about people who are actually from Mexico. I know it can be like quite a hard place to grow up sometimes, and my heart really goes out to people who are struggling, and it must be hard to see tourists come and have the time of their lives and go back and say it's the best country if you are having those personal struggles. But at the same time, hopefully you are proud that you have a country that people come to and absolutely love. In my heart of hearts, I feel like Mexico is an A, but my experience of Mexico is a C, so we're going to put it in beautiful. But I will be coming back to Mexico and hitting those bigger tourist spots. Next up we have Canada. I spent about a week in Toronto because I thought, you know, it's a big place. Everyone knows Toronto. There's going to be lots to do in Toronto. There was nothing to do in Toronto. Toronto was a slog. Like, it was a struggle to find things to do. It might be one of those places where it's really nice to live there. Like, I didn't really like London before I moved there. But yeah, I think Toronto is one of the most boring places on earth as a tourist. I'm sorry. We did go to Niagara Falls as well, which is incredible. Love Niagara Falls. I'm going to have to put Toronto down the bottom. Not Canada, but Toronto is going in, not my cup of tea. But yeah, I am aware there's beautiful places like Alberta, and I haven't been to Vancouver, I don't know what that's like, and I watched that Race Across the World show where they were going across Canada and it looks stunning. So I know that Canada itself is not at the bottom of countries to visit, but Toronto is just that boring. I'm putting that there for now. I'm sorry. Okay. What do we have next? Czech Republic. I only went to Prague and I feel like that's fair. to give an assessment of the whole country, because I don't know anyone who's been to Czech Republic who's like been around it and been to other places that isn't just Prague. So maybe the rest of the Czech Republic is completely different. I know loads of people love Prague. A really big travel creator, Drew Binsky, absolutely loves Prague. I think it's his favourite place. Me personally, I thought it was a little bit boring. I don't know why. It has like cool underground like restaurants. You can get like really big cheap beer. It has a beautiful bridge. But that was about it. Like, you can walk around the old town quite quickly. There's like some fort on top of a hill, but I didn't think it was that much. Oh, maybe we're gonna have 2 not my cup of teas in a row. I'm sorry. That's the beauty of traveling, you know. People love things that other people just aren't interested in, and it's probably my problem. And then next up we have Austria. So I actually went to Austria straight after Czech Republic and absolutely loved it. Loved Vienna. The restaurants are decorated so nicely. It feels like you're in like some old-timey movie. There are some really good museums. You can see the Kiss there. We'll go for beautiful for now. With a second trip back there, I could definitely see it moving up to A. Next up we have Sri Lanka. I went quite a few years before going to India, so I couldn't really compare. Now thinking back, it's pretty different culture. Like, Sri Lanka isn't quite as hectic. We did get into a few arguments with tuk-tuk drivers, but it wasn't that crazy. Maybe that's a little spoiler for what's to come with my India review. It's not like beautiful blue beaches like you get in Fiji or Croatia. The food there, actually, I ordered shark, which is like really bad. I wouldn't do that now because obviously it's like not good to eat shark. But at the time I was like, oh, that's cool, I want to be different. And it came and it was just soaked in bleach. Like, I had a bite of it and I was like, this tastes like bleach. And I don't normally like to complain, but I gave it to my family, like, can you try this? And they were like, it's literally bleach. So they took it back to the kitchen. We did still pay for the rest of the meal because, you know. I'm actually going to go cum si cum sa. I don't think it's necessary to go to if you're doing like a trip of the world. Is it so good you need to spend the effort there? Like, maybe not really. Next up we have South Africa. Cape Town is probably the most beautiful city on earth. There and Johannesburg both get a really bad rep for being really dangerous. We did do the garden route along South Africa, so sort of like driving like all around the bottom of the country, and halfway through that we did see some people get mugged, but it was like in broad daylight. There was like a bunch of kids walking past. They themselves were like teenagers, so it seems like maybe they knew each other, I'm not sure. But personally, as a tourist, I didn't feel unsafe at any point in my time in South Africa. Again, like, people who live there might have a completely different story, so I don't want to come as a tourist and be like it's completely safe. That's not my story to tell. You can see some really cool wild animals when you're there. The landscape is beautiful. We did wine tasting in Stellenbosch. I was thinking A, but now I'm saying it out loud, maybe S. I'm putting South Africa in A. Bruh. Definitely worth a visit on your round trip, which you're obviously doing. Next up we have Zambia. I wasn't there very long, so I already know where it's gonna go, but it absolutely gobsmacked me. So I got out of the airport, I got into a car, I was looking around and I just saw elephants walking down the side of the street. I saw monkeys, I saw warthogs. My mouth was just like I thought it was a stereotype of Africa that you would get there and you would just see these incredible wild animals just walking around, but it was like a movie. It was honestly stunning, and it had a beautiful sunset like in The Lion King, where it's like orangey and the sun just like going down over the horizon. But I was only there a day, yes, so Zambia is getting too short, didn't read. Then cross over the border into Zimbabwe. Very similar, lots of wild animals just walking around. I went to Victoria Falls, which is incredible. I walked with lions, which was insane. So there were lions that had been raised in captivity and they were now preparing them to go out into the wild. So it was in that sort of transitional period where they were like still okay around humans and they were going to be set free. It was probably one of the best things that I've ever done. So I think I'm going to go and be beautiful. It's definitely worth going to. Next we have Namibia. It's covered in sand. You can go to where Salvador Dali bases painting of the melting clocks off, and there's like little wiry trees which you can be like, oh yeah, like in that. You can sandboard down dunes, you can like run up dunes, and it takes forever and ever because it's really hard to run in sand if you didn't know. We're gonna go for a beautiful. Okay, next up is Botswana. So Botswana is a really cool country to visit if you want to see some national parks. So again, you've got elephants, giraffes, cheetahs we saw there as well, rhinos. Aside from the national parks, I didn't really walk around. I don't really know what the rest of the country is like aside from those national parks. So I might have to go cum si cum sa just to be fair. Oh, actually I went to the Okavango Delta as well. You like sit on a tiny little boat and you can go onto this really secluded island where there's no toilet. And you have to just like go in the bushes for 3 days, which is pretty fun. So you know what? What was I thinking? Botswana, you are beautiful. Okay, Italy. So Italy is one of those countries where people were like, oh my god, you haven't been to Italy yet? No, I hadn't been to Italy yet, but now we're here. Venice is probably one of the prettiest places I've ever been. Venice is extremely romantic. You can walk around and just get lost around the little corners with a beautiful lake flowing by. I think the food in Venice is incredible. If you can eat not that much, the food in Italy isn't that expensive because they do like a starter and a main, and you're kind of expected to order two. But I found like I could just order like a pasta, which is generally the starter, and then a side of bread and be fine. Rome, I didn't like as much as Venice. I don't know if it's because I went straight after. It just seemed a bit crazy, all the traffic. I felt like there was a bit of pollution in the air. The people there like felt a little bit like busier, and I didn't have as much time for you, which is obviously fine. I'm just a tourist, who cares? It was super, super cool going to the Colosseum though. Again, love history. The very top of it had just been opened for the first time in years, so we got to go up to the very, very top, which was incredible. And there's a lot of Italy you can see. I feel like it's one of those countries where it's got about like 100 city names people have heard of, and if you went to any of them, I'm sure you'd have a great time. So I do feel like I have to put Italy in a typical, isn't it? Not very controversial. Hello? My stream! Okay, what's the next flag? Oh. Vatican City. I have beef with Vatican City. I do not recognise Vatican City. I feel like there are things as a country that you should have to be called a country. Like, I don't know, a mall, some restaurants, some people who have YouTube subscriptions and can actually argue on behalf of their country in this video. Like, if you are from Vatican City, please tell me why you think you should be considered a country in the comments. But I just don't get it. Like, sure, you can be a region, you can be like a independent state or something, but a country? Like, a country? I feel like it should go too short and read because it's so tiny that you can't really walk around, absorb in the culture, see the sights. It's literally just like a museum and a little view of a courtyard. It's gonna go not my cup of tea because I just don't get it. If you understand why it's a country and why I think it should be in comparison to other regions around the world which aren't their own countries, like, I don't know, not to be controversial, so I won't go into it. Okay, so next up we have Hungary. So a lot of people really, really like Budapest. Again, this is one of those places where I only went to one place. I don't think tourists generally go to other parts of the country. Before I went, everyone was like, oh, Budapest is the best, I love it. I went to that really famous bar where it's got like bathtub and random things. I had some goulash. Yeah, goulash. Went to the fisherman's thing, like the White Castle, which is really, really pretty. Got some really nice pictures. I also went to Ziget Festival, which was okay. I think because the UK does festivals quite well, it was okay. It was quite small. There's not like much space for camping. There's not many dance tents or anything. I just didn't get like a spark or a vibe. I did feel like people there were a bit off with me. I don't know if it had anything to do with my skin colour. I don't know. Hungary is not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. It's clearly lots of other people's cup of tea. And I also thought it was really dirty, which is weird for me to say because I normally don't care. I've been to a lot of places. It did not smell very good. There was a lot of trash on the ground, so okay. Next up we have Poland. So I've been to Warsaw and Krakow. I actually really enjoyed both. So Warsaw I thought had like really cool buildings. It had a really pretty old town. I got some like super massive bread bowl. Krakow, I went around Christmas time. I had a nice Christmas market. We also went to Auschwitz, which I think is really important to see, just to remind you of history. It is very, very, very hard place to visit though, obviously. You know, it's going in Kumsi Kumsa. I did have a good time there. The Kumsi Kumsa is still good. It's just, you know, a bit less than the other ones. Now we have China. So China is probably one of the hardest countries to talk about because, again, traveling with the eyes is one of the most beautiful countries on earth. We went to Zhangjiajie, which I'm obviously going to pronounce all these names wrong, but it's what Avatar was based on. So it's got these incredible green mountains, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. There's a Forbidden City in Beijing, which is really cool. We went to this park in Nanjing, which was really beautiful. So I'm brown, my partner's white. Everyone there stared at us constantly and was taking pictures. And at first we got there, we felt like, oh yeah, we're famous. People were literally tripping over themselves. They were like shoving babies at us and taking photos. It was like, whoa. And then obviously a few days passed and you're like, I kind of want to enjoy my trip now. But no, constant. We were telling people like, no, we don't want pictures, and they just like keep snapping. Obviously, like, cultures are different. They might not realise that's rude. They might not have ever seen people who aren't Chinese before. They might be coming from rural areas of China. I don't know. I'm not blaming people, but it's just a lot. And by the time we left, we felt really exhausted. I also went to Hong Kong, which was more chill than China, wasn't as much staring. I did have one really bad experience on a beach of people just surrounding me taking photos, which I thought was quite inappropriate as I was in a bikini. Then I feel like they might have been tourists from China, but they were also not spitting all the time. So in China, you'll constantly hear people spitting, which I find really gross. We did get scammed in Hong Kong though. We went into a restaurant and we ordered something on the menu and they brought something out. And then they came out and they were like, oh, this is like £100. And we were like, what? That's not what we ordered. And they were like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And this other guy on the table starts like arguing with him. And then we were just like, well, we're not going to pay this. So it's probably just that one restaurant. I'm not saying that happens a lot in Hong Kong. The accommodation in Hong Kong is like very, very tight packed. You've probably seen about it online, how they do have like those really, really sort of small like cage accommodations there. And the room we stayed in was like pretty tiny and it was probably like £50 a night, which is quite a lot for like a really tiny room. There's more to do in China because Hong Kong's a lot smaller. But why not check it out if you have the time? I mean, obviously China has so much history. It's such an important country in the whole scheme of the world. So yes, as a traveller, you should definitely go there. It just might not be somewhere that when you leave, you're like aching to go back to. China, A tier. South Korea. So my experience with South Korea is not a great one and it is the fault of a plate of food. So we got to Seoul, had our first day there. I ordered a bowl of food which was some cold noodles in cold soup with a raw egg. As I was eating it, I was like, oh, this sucks. Get home, get extremely bad food poisoning, literally felt like I was dying, spent 3 days on the floor. I was actually in shared accommodation as well, so I was using a shared toilet the whole time. Then by the time I stopped being ill and we only had 1 day left, we actually didn't have much left to do in Seoul. We went to the palace, went to Gangnam Style. I remember before going, I was researching as to whether we should go anywhere else apart from Seoul. And nothing was really coming up except like the border with North Korea, but I didn't think that was really worth it to make the trip there. So South Korea, I'm giving kumsi kumsa. Okay, next we have Japan. Now, I'm going to shock all of you here and I'm going to be putting Japan at the bottom and not my cup of tea. And this is why. No, I'm kidding. So Japan is a great country. I'm sorry to be like everyone else, but Japan is just great. The culture is super, super nice there. Everyone is like really kind. We went to loads of arcades and played loads of games. We went to cool restaurants where you like sit on the ground. We went to sushi places where you order on a little tablet and then it comes out on a conveyor belt. Kyoto is just incredible, so beautiful. I love like really old looking houses. That was really nice. Osaka I thought was really, really cool. Lots of bright lights. I think it's somewhere that would be really nice to live, maybe. Actually, no. I know Japan is a really hardcore working culture, so actually maybe it's quite naive of a tourist to say it'd be nice to live there. But in terms of just how chill it seems and like quality of life on the weekend when you're not working, it seems like a really nice place to live. I'm teetering between A and Miss Worldwide. We're gonna go S tier. I'm sorry to everyone. I've let you down by not being controversial. I don't think it will blow your mind if you're like really obsessed with Japanese culture and you think it's gonna be like some other world. It's not like another world in the sense that maybe China or India might feel like completely different to you. But it's definitely a different enough culture that you can enjoy being there if you're bored of the Western lifestyle. So next up we have Germany. I don't maybe like it as much as other people do. I know a lot of people love Berlin. I did go clubbing when I was there. I do appreciate there is a really cool clubbing scene. In terms of just like sights to go see in the daytime, I don't know, like nothing there really stands out. It seems a bit like brutalist architecture to me. It's quite like grey. It's quite monotone. It's not like dazzling beautiful like you get in Paris or whatever, and that's the kind of thing I like because I'm very over the top. So for me, Germany is going in kumsi kumsa. Next we have the Netherlands. So in the Netherlands I've only been to Amsterdam. Amsterdam is a very fun place. No comment. I know there are really beautiful tulips you can go see sort of outside of it, which I haven't seen. It's going to go and be beautiful. Guatemala I love. The food there is probably some of the best food I've ever had. Antigua is an extremely beautiful place. You're surrounded by volcanoes. Volcanoes! I mean, how incredible is that? And you can literally see it smoking. I mean, actually, the day after we went there, I think some people died because it erupted. But, like, you know, not focusing on that, it's beautiful to look at. Sometimes you go somewhere and you just get a really good vibe. You know, it's what other people get with Budapest, and I just didn't get that. I didn't go to see the Tikal Pyramid, which I think is up in the north, and I didn't go to this lake that you can go to. I feel like if I had gone to those, it would definitely be S tier. I'm going to put it in A tier for now, because I know that when I go back, it's going to be even better and we're going to like it even more. After Guatemala, we have Honduras. So I always wanted to go to Honduras since I was an edgy teenager, and I thought it was really cool when I looked up what was the murder capital of the world and Honduras came up. I didn't go to the capital of Honduras, which I think is where like most of the crime is. I went to the Copan ruins, which is like some really beautiful Mayan ruins. We also went to a macaw sanctuary. our accommodation was sort of up in the hills and we get kind of like tuk-tuks. I feel like it definitely has the potential to be beautiful, but because I was only in sort of one area, I feel like it isn't quite as good as the other countries that I currently have in beautiful. So it's gonna go... No, you know what? I'm not gonna be mean. Honduras did nothing wrong. Then we have El Salvador, pretty similar vibes. We made like homemade pupusas with this woman, which is like a kind of tortilla. We met this old soldier who was telling us about a civil war that had happened as we like walked around the jungle. I would say it's maybe not as touristy as Honduras because it doesn't really have the ruins that Honduras has. So I think I might just put it like just below. Next we have Costa Rica. I feel like you say Costa Rica and you get vibes of like beautiful tropical beaches, but I wouldn't say it's like the top of that kind of vibe. So we went to the rainforest, which was super cool. We went to a waterfall where I nearly died because I got on at the bottom and then I got taken away by the rapids and nearly fell down this like rocky cliff part. So that was scary, but that's not Costa Rica's fault, that's my fault. We went to the cloud forest in Monteverde where you would walk along like the bridges and there's trees all around you. I remember it just smelling like so fresh and being like, rainforest. There are a lot of activities you can do in Costa Rica, but they are very expensive, especially compared to the rest of Central America. There are little shops you can go to called Soda. You can get a really good meal for like £6. Costa Rica is going in beautiful. Next up we have Peru. Peru. What to say about Peru? I don't know. Machu Picchu? Anyone? Anyone heard of it? Actually, I say that, but when I'd been there, a lot of people that I knew actually hadn't heard of it. But if you haven't heard of it, look it up and go. If you can, you should do a hike. You can either do the Inca Trail or the Salcante Trail. I did Salcante. You go up, you go past snow-capped mountains. It is incredible. You can stay in like little globes, so you can look up at the stars. You can stay in little huts on your way. And the sense of achievement that you feel when you finally get to Machu Picchu, it's like nothing else. Machu Picchu is the best thing on earth. Does that mean Peru is one of the best countries on earth? Let's think about the other places that I went. Went to Cusco, that's normally the base of Machu Picchu. That's really, really pretty cobblestone streets. Went to Lima. See, Lima is down there with Toronto as one of the most boring places I've ever been. I did not like Lima. I did not find there was anything to do, but Peru, everywhere else I went to was amazing. You can get like a hop on hop off bus with Peru Hop. It's good to drive from Lima up to Cusco and then do Machu Picchu, so you're acclimatized rather than fly straight into Cusco and then do it. We also did Rainbow Mountain, which was incredible. I remember flying out of Peru airport and landing in Chile airport, and someone in the airport smiled at me and I was like, what? And I realised no one in Peru had smiled at me like the whole time. I don't know why. It's fine. I know I said Lima is the worst place on earth, but Machu Picchu, come on, Mr. Worldwide, you have to go to Peru. You know what? Because of Niagara Falls, I'm gonna move Canada up to Comme Si Comme Ça. Next we have Bolivia. So La Paz is one of the best capital cities I think I've been to. It's just stunning. It's really high up. We came in at night time and you could see all the glittering lights of all the houses below and it was just lovely. We went to a really cool market. We had amazing food. It was cheaper than Peru. It probably doesn't have as many activities as Peru to do. You definitely wouldn't spend as much time there. So I'm gonna go for beautiful, Bolivia as a whole, but La Paz would definitely be A tier. So Chile is a bit of a hard one because we did have a trip booked to the mountains, but they cancelled it the morning of. So I can only really talk about Santiago and Vina del Mar. But I had been speaking Spanish like all the way through Central America and found it fine. And I got to Chile and I could not understand a word they were saying. Like it was like they were speaking a completely different language. So I guess it's a dialect thing. But yeah, Chile seems like a very progressive, up and coming place. I saw a lot of gay couples there. People were very like fashionably dressed. It did feel a bit more westerny than maybe some of the other Southern American countries. So I'm gonna go beautiful. So Argentina, we went to Buenos Aires and we went to Iguazu Falls. Iguazu Falls is the best waterfall in the world. I remember seeing reviews about it being better than Niagara and Victoria Falls put together and I thought there's no way that's true. But it is. Like, it's so big, you can walk around from all these different viewpoints. It's absolutely stunning. Buenos Aires I liked. There is a really, really nice graveyard there, which is always nice to check out. I love a graveyard. I had the best steak of my life there, paired with some red wine, which was amazing, and it was also really cheap. I know you can do like gaucho homestays as well if you wanted to, ride some horses. We also went to a tango show, which was super, super cool. They like kick their legs in the most craziest ways. It's different to any other dance I've seen. So Argentina is gonna go beautiful. So Brazil is one of the countries that I wanted to go to the most for my whole life. We went to Paraty, Ilha Grande and Rio. Paraty and Ilha Grande were really nice, chill vibes. We got to Rio, which is like the #1 place I'd always wanted to go, and it rained the whole time. I've never been that unlucky before in all of my travels. We didn't actually go up to Christ the Redeemer. We could see it from our accommodation, which was super cool. We did go up Sugarloaf Mountain, and that was nice, even though it was a bit grey. In terms of safety wise, people were like taking drugs out open in the street, but again, like South Africa, I didn't feel personally unsafe. Again, I'm never usually out by myself though. I am normally with a partner, so if you're a single woman, it might be very different. I wasn't walking around at nighttime very much. I was getting cabs around. The restaurant scene there is a bit weird. So most of the time when you're in other countries, you want to go find those cute little authentic hole-in-the-wall places, but a lot of the best rated restaurants were just in a mall. That was actually similar to Johannesburg as well. I hate to say this because I thought it was going to be my number one, but I think it has to go and be beautiful, just from my experience. If I do go back and see Rio in the beautiful sunshine, I'm sure it'll go up to an A. And also I know there are other parts of Brazil, like obviously the Amazon rainforest. Montenegro. So Montenegro is a really underrated country. Very, very clear water, beautiful green mountains all around, really pretty little old towns. You don't need too long there, so I don't think I can rank it extremely high, as I feel like to rank something high, you got to be able to spend a lot of time there, got to be able to do a lot of activities. So it's going in beautiful. Then we have Albania, so it's probably another underrated country. I went to Sarande, which is a really beachy part. I think recently you have seen Albania come up a bit more online with really pretty beaches, so yes, there are some really nice beaches in Sarande. We also went to some really cool old ruins. We didn't go to the capital city, but I have heard from people that it's not really that worth going to. I don't know, maybe they're wrong. Albania, I don't think you need that much time there. Maybe if you're like in Greece, you can hop over, that's what we did, and have a little look. I'm going to put it in comme ci comme ça. Now we're in Denmark. So Denmark is probably one of the most expensive countries I've been to. It's very pleasant. Copenhagen is pretty. The little colourful houses on the lake, that's really nice. The port near where the Little Mermaid statue is, that's like a really blue water. We did go to Hamlet's Castle. You can go underground into like the dungeons, and it felt like, oh, in the UK you'd never be able to do this. You'd have it all roped off, but you could just like go free and look wherever you wanted to, which was cool. I think it's maybe one of those places which if you lived there, you'd find those things to do, kind of like London and Toronto, but as a tourist it's not like screaming out at you to go back. So I think I'm gonna put Denmark in comme ci comme ça. Next up we have Jordan. Jordan is probably the most underrated country on this list. It's probably one of my favourite trips that I've done. Petra, another wonder of the world. I think you're probably seeing a theme of this list, that countries that have a wonder of the world are ranking pretty high. And that's for a good reason. Jordan, the people are super nice, the food is really good. We went snorkeling and we saw octopus in the sea, which is incredible. I've never seen octopus anywhere else, so that was a really nice surprise. But I do have to say, we were there for 10 days and I don't think we could have done anything else if we'd stayed for longer. So you can go, you can have a really jam-packed 10 days, have the best fun of your life, but then that's kind of it. So I feel like that's what's stopping it from being an S tier, just because it's quite a small country, and I'm going to be putting it in A tier, but you should definitely visit Jordan. Okay, Cyprus. So Cyprus is a big tourist destination for British people, and you can tell. So there's a lot of British pubs there, a lot of British people there. Pretty much every restaurant we went to, we were served by someone British. It was just a bit unnerving being in this country, which is quite far from the UK. It's a 4-hour flight. It's actually closer to the Middle East than it is to France. And I'm just not sure why people bother to take the trip. Like, there are places like Italy and Greece which are closer, which I feel like have more to offer than Cyprus. I don't know if it's maybe the British people that kind of ruined Cyprus for me, so it's not actually the fault of the people of Cyprus. Personally, I just didn't like it that much. It just felt like a holiday destination rather than like a traveller's destination where you go to see a lot of new things. So for that reason, I'm putting it in not my cup of tea. I'm sorry, there just wasn't much to do there except go to the beach.
Did you say want?
Okay, so very quickly we have Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia, I hate with a vengeance. Because if you look on the government website, it says you can go to Saudi Arabia for free for 92 hours. So we landed in the airport and they were like, oh, you have to pay us £200 for a visa. And everyone on the plane was like, what? So it wasn't just us. It wasn't like, oh, we'd made a mistake. Every single person on that plane was forced into buying a visa on the spot, even though we'd all checked and it all said you do not need a visa if you're staying in the country for less than 3 days. And all the people there were just laughing at us. They didn't care. They weren't like, oh, sorry, it's just changed recently and the website hasn't been updated. No. So I have a really bad experience with Saudi Arabia. I also don't think it's really a country you should be travelling to anyway. We were just stopping over there on our way to another country. But obviously it doesn't have a great human rights record. I know it is really trying to advertise itself as a tourist destination. At least in the UK now, you do see a lot of posters advertising Saudi Arabia. I have seen some travel YouTubers go to Saudi Arabia, and I do think it's a bit iffy. I think there are other countries which deserve your tourist dollars more. I feel like if it's trying to be a tourist destination, it needs to treat tourists well. And saying that you don't need a visa and then charging people on the spot a lot of money for a visa is not treating your tourists well, and it's not going to make people want to come back. So I don't think you should go to Saudi Arabia. Sorry. Wah, wah.
Did you say want?
Okay, now we've got India. So India is probably the hardest country to rank on this list, and as I'm talking now, I have no idea where I'm going to put it, so we're just going to go and see what comes out of my mouth. India is probably the most exhausting place I've ever been, even more exhausting than China. It feels like there's way more people there. Like in China there are a lot of people, but it felt like you could get away from them sometimes. In India there was just people everywhere all the time, and I wouldn't say the people in India are particularly nice, at least to me. I just found a lot of people were willingly incompetent, trying to obviously overcharge you for things, and I honestly don't mind paying more as a tourist. Like if I'm buying something from you, charge me whatever you want. Like if this costs £1 and you want to charge me £5, that's fine if I decided I want to buy something from you. But if it's something with a pre-arranged price, like taxi or laundry, and at the end you're like, oh actually it's this much more when we'd already agreed a price, that's just annoying. I do have to say the food is amazing, and I didn't get any tummy problems, which is super rare. So I don't know if other people are trying lots of street food. We just ate in restaurants and we were all fine. In terms of the sights, Delhi was like very polluted, very foggy. I'm thinking back and everything just kind of has this like grey background. Delhi's actually the first place on earth I felt culture shock. Like I'm normally quite used to experiencing other cultures, but in Delhi we were walking to a mosque and there was just loads and loads of people just lying on the floor, and it was just quite extreme. I just never really seen poverty on that scale. So India is just sort of constantly dragging you in the two different directions between like really incredible fun touristy things to do and then the everyday reality of the poverty of a lot of people who lived there. But also there are a lot of children who are quite sweet and would come up to you and ask you for things, and you would give them something and they would be like really happy. I know a lot of people say like don't give any money to beggars or children, but I don't know, like I don't think you're an evil person if you do give them some things. By the time we finished our trip in India, we were very ready to go home. Normally I want to carry on for as long as possible, not go home, but I just felt exhausted. Like I don't normally go on my phone when I'm traveling, but we finished off in Mumbai, and in the hotel in Mumbai I'd be like scrolling on my phone just trying to get those like home comforts. My favourite places in India were Varanasi, which is absolutely incredible if you're really into death like I am. I think it's really interesting, and seeing the open air pyre is one of the most special experiences you'll ever have. I also really like Jaisalmer, which was in the desert, but then it was like the bigger cities, like I said, Delhi and Jaipur. I didn't find that interesting. I did like Mumbai a lot more than Delhi, but like I said, that was the end of the trip, and by that point it was like, I think it's somewhere that everyone needs to go, because obviously it's a massive country in terms of size and population. It's really important in the context of the world, and I think it's really important for the rest of the world to kind of see how Indians live and what India's like. So you definitely absolutely should go there at some point in your life. Just be prepared that it might be a lot. But now, where do we rank it? I'm gonna go beautiful on India. Definitely you should go there on your round the world trip, but can I say you'll be smiling, laughing, having the time of your life every second that you're there? No. So be beautiful. Keep being you, India. Keep being beautiful. Next we have Oman. So Oman was a really quick day trip. Nice, no problems, but too short, didn't read. I cannot give you a genuine review of Oman. Next we have the UAE. So we didn't spend very long in the UAE. Only went to Abu Dhabi, not Dubai. The mosque in Abu Dhabi is incredible. I absolutely loved it. It was about 50-50 with the people there. Half the people were super nice to me and the other half to me were really rude and unhelpful. I know there's definitely issues with maybe slave labour in Dubai. I don't know if that's the same in Abu Dhabi. I don't want to give too much of a review on it. So I'm just going to go... I think I'm going to go too short, didn't read. I know there's a lot of people who've been to the UAE, so they can give you better reviews on it than I can. So nearing the end now, we are on Bulgaria. So Bulgaria is a very underrated country. I actually went there for a friend's wedding. I probably wouldn't have gone otherwise because it's just not really the kind of country that you hear tourists going to. We did a hike up Rila Lakes, which is where you go past 7 lakes. We went to Velengrad, which is a place in the mountains. There's like beautiful green mountains around. I know also in the winter it gets snowy and you can go skiing in Bulgaria. I thought Sofia was a really chill city. People there dress very fashionably. Maybe if you go there for like a drinking holiday, it would be quite fun, because we went to a bar and we got free drinks. There was like a free fire show and acrobatics. So I feel like if you go to kind of make your own fun, it would be a really good place to go. If you're going like on a romantic holiday or a family holiday, maybe not, because there's not too much to do. But I think it's definitely worth going if you're doing a Europe trip. So that's gonna go in beautiful. And last but not least, we have England. So I thought I'd do England last because I was born and raised there, and I feel like if I spoke about it first, it just wouldn't set up the tone of the video well, because I have extreme biases. I've literally lived here my whole life. It's kind of like the USA, where it's like, what do you want me to say? Like, what are you expecting me to say? Because I feel like it can go two ways. If you're British, you probably think I'm going to say a lot of really bad things about the UK. And I did used to think that. Before I moved to London, I thought London really sucks. It's probably one of the worst capital cities in Europe. There's Paris, it's so beautiful, and London just has nothing. But since moving to London, I actually disagree. We have really beautiful buildings. Yeah, it's really expensive, but I actually think that's kind of good, because when you go to any other country, it's generally always cheaper than what you're used to. So that's a bonus. I know people like to say England has a lot of issues, but I do think it's one of the safest countries in the world to live in. We don't have guns, we have free healthcare. And I was talking to a refugee the other day, and I asked him, why did you move to the UK? And he said, well, you can be anyone you want to be. You can be any religion, you can be any sexuality. And I thought that was really beautiful, because I know obviously there are still people who might hate on you for that, but legally you can be whoever you want to be. So I think that if other people feel safe enough to come to our country, then I feel really proud of it. And in my old age, I have grown to like England a lot more. Am I happy with the weather? No. No, I'm not. Why? It's literally July and it's been pissing it down. It's been grey rain for the last like 4 months, and it doesn't seem like it's getting any better. I do feel like weather-wise, we're probably one of the worst countries in the world. But like I said, I think the standard of living is very good. For example, you can go to university if you want to. It's technically expensive, but you will be given a student loan and you very slowly pay it off through your pay slip. So if you don't have a job, then you don't have to pay it back. I don't think that's the same for every country, where pretty much everyone can go to university if they want to. Sorry to talk so positively about England and the US. I know they have caused a lot of issues around the world. As a tourist, I don't know what the UK would be like. I still don't think London is one of the best countries in the world to go to as a tourist. Like, if you're into maybe music history, it's probably a cool place to come to. In Scotland, I've only been to Edinburgh. I don't think that's really worth going to if you're going on a round the world trip. Wales, I don't think it's worth going to if you've always been on a round the world trip. And I don't really think anywhere in the north of England is worth going to. Also, like, I'm from the south of England, and I don't think that's worth going to either. So I think London is really the only stop, maybe. It's kind of like with the US, how you like seeing things that you've seen on TV. It's like, oh wow, New York, LA, like I've seen that, that's cool. It's the same with London, but I don't think you need that much time there, and I think your time would be better spent in the rest of Europe. So where do I put UK, my home country? Let's see. After all that, it's gonna go in come see come saw. I know I just gave some beautiful impassioned speech about why it's so great, but thinking like activities wise as a tourist, or like beautiful natural things that other countries like China and the US have, it's not up there. So okay, it's going in cum si cum sa. Somehow we missed the Nicaragua flag. I do apologise to Nicaragua. I absolutely love Nicaragua, so it was not intentional. We had a little tour around it by a local guide. It was actually a free tour. We gave him a massive tip because it was incredible. This was in Leon. He was telling us all about the history. He was telling us about the civil unrest and the student protests. He was saying, tell all your friends to come to Nicaragua. We really want the tourism back. I definitely recommend going. Obviously, check out for yourself what the civil situation is, but I think if you're going in a big tour group like we were, you should be completely fine. Again, we were supposed to go see a volcano to see like real lava, but it erupted the day before we were supposed to go. So yeah, I think Nicaragua definitely could have been A if we'd had that experience. And I just feel like there was a lot of heart there. Nicaragua is going in beautiful. Okay, and that is the video. So you may have noticed it's not every country in the world, but that would have been an extremely long video anyway, and I don't think you really have the time for that. We are missing some big hitters. I haven't been to Portugal. Everyone I meet is like, what, you've been to all these countries and I haven't been to Portugal? No, I haven't. Also, Indonesia is a country I really want to go to. I need to do some more Southeast Asia like Vietnam, Cambodia. Iceland I'd like to go to. I haven't been to Norway, so I'm missing out on a really good joke because Mr. Worldwide, one of the best lyrics in the world. Now I'm doing shows in Helsinki, Finland, and I can't comment on that, but oh my god, I just realised I literally said Norway when I meant Finland. It's literally in the lyric. I'm sorry I failed you, Mr. Worldwide, but no, I haven't done a show in Helsinki, Finland, or Oslo, Norway. But thank you for staying until the end of this video anyway. My experiences could be completely different to your experiences. I'm going to have biases, I'm going to have preferences that people from other countries won't have, so you should really check out things for yourself. But that is just my opinion with my experience. If you have any differing opinions or anything you really agree with, I would love to see your reasons why in the comments. Alright, see you next time!